So, I haven't seen many good reviews, well at least decent flying reviews of this FMS 1700mm Cub. I got this recently second hand, even though it hadn't been flown, and proceeded to fly it stock, and I thought it was pretty good. I like having a bit of power to hover, so it was kind of hovering around about full throttle, and I didn't like that. I wanted a bit of punch out from a hover, because who doesn't like hovering a plane that doesn't usually hover? My first impressions were the build quality is really good. The foam quality is really excellent on this, but if you want to see people talk about the build and compare it to other things, I'm sure there's plenty of other better reviews out there. I'm going to give you more of a flying review on this. First thing I did was I actually changed out the wheels, because they were awesome and large, but overly large and quite heavy. These are some like Gen 1 Hobby King Durafly Tundra wheels. I've just swapped out for those. The axle worked out perfectly with a little circle up, so exactly the right length. And I've also changed from the existing motor, and I have chucked in a Extreme Flight 35 T3520, which usually runs, I think it's about 900 kV or somewhere around there. Usually runs on 6S and runs like a 9x9 prop on the Extreme Flight Outlaw or Pantera series. But I'm running a 13x6 on this on 4-cell, and it seems to be about right. I'm running stock servos. I haven't changed any of the servos around. All the stock setup, the gears all exactly the same. Only thing I've changed, like I said, is the motor. But ESC's got a Castle Talon 90 in it. Different wheels, stock servos, stock linkages. They all seem pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it for a foamy. And inside I am running a G&B 2800 4-cell, and that seems to go pretty well. Yep, so just extend the ailerons, elevator, right, and then two positions on the flaps. Alright, switching back over to the GoPro, like I did before. Best thing about this is its stall performance. It doesn't like one of these for stall. So it'll do the usual circuit bashing stuff quite happily. As with all Cubs, I like a little bit of rudder mixed in with the aileron. Has to help make those turns nice and coordinated. But now we've got some more power to hover. Some larger control surfaces will definitely help with the hovering, because as you can tell, it's got, you know, 25% chord surfaces there. A bit more power now certainly makes it a bit easier to hover. Well, there's a bit of wind around today, and a punch out. Actually quite aerobatic and quite good on all four axes really. Squealing bearing on that motor today. There's a new bearing in it. Runway needs a moat. Loves a good side flip as most Cubs. Flat turns. Back rider's nice and powerful, bit off the aileron there. Slow flight's pretty good. No tendency to really drop a wing too much. Crosswind is not helping. Back at home now, some final conclusions on how this flies. I'm quite happy with it. I used to always like the old Tundras. The Tundras used to be great. Whereas the Grand Tundra was never quite as good as the original. They used to have too high a wing loading and have a really nasty tip stall and really poor slow speed handling. This definitely seems to be considerably better, being the same span as the old Grand Tundra, 1700mm. I like this a lot better. I think just because it's a lot lighter, a lot less fuselage cross-sectional area, a lot less volumetric area, means less foam, which means less weight. That extra power upgrade definitely has made a huge difference. I really recommend if you're a bit of a aerobatic nut, definitely chuck the extra few watts in it. Otherwise, the stock power system is pretty good for just most people, especially on 4-cell. The one thing I will say about this model is that it is a pain in the ass for getting hanger rash, especially on the tips. It's always getting chomped up on the wingtips, so I might have to put some plastic capping or something around those to stop that happening. Every time you move it, you bump it into things. I've had to glue back on these light covers. Both these light covers have fallen off, just fallen off. I was trying to do some stall landings on a picnic table the other day and ripped out the undercarriage plate, but I was actually really impressed. Didn't snap anything. All it did was just rip out some of the undercarriage plate there. Additionally, recently I got a bomb drop mechanism from AliExpress, and I've chucked that. I just screwed it onto the bottom mounting plate, and I have just a wee saddle clamp with one of my wife's hair ties to release things. So I've got some 3D printed whistling bombs and things, which is quite fun to drop. Yeah, I think I said in the flight video, that it's actually quite good in terms of all 4 axis, that being pitch, roll, yaw, and throttle. Yeah, quite nicely harmonized for a high wing model. Yep, would I recommend it? Yep, absolutely. I have been pleasantly surprised with this model. I bought it not knowing it was going to be any better than the Grand Tundra, because I sold my Grand Tundra, just didn't like the wing loading, and this is definitely a step up in the right direction.